Is Erik Ten Hag the problem at Manchester United? Is it simply just the players causing the issue for Erik Ten Hag? That's what we're talking about in today's video. Don't forget to leave a like, comment and subscribe. Stay tuned for more videos. And without further ado, let's get straight into it. So, Manchester United obviously got battered by Liverpool 3-0 yesterday. And there was a lot of warnings and a lot of things to be taken from that game, which we simply looked at. I think Erik Ten Hag got a lot wrong in that game. I think he is starting to become the issue at Manchester United. He's ultimately sacking himself with some of the performances that his team are putting in. Listen, he picks the team at the end of the day, but he's the one that coaches the team. He's the one that's putting in the midfield structure and telling the midfield players what to do. Listen, Casemiro, he was a big fault. Yes, that was a big error, but there were so many other signings and so many other warning signs that we got throughout that game. As I said, if Erik Ten Hag keeps up this, by Christmas he will have sacked himself, and ultimately that's what we've got to be very, very careful with. Now let's dissect the game. I think overall, listen, the first 20 minutes was a real positive, and that was really it. It was similar to the pre-season game. You half press for a little bit, have a few chances. Other than that, it was absolutely a disgrace from 20 minutes on to the 95th minute. It was just lack of passing again. Doing the simples wrong. And you have to look at Erik Ten Hag being the problem here. Casemiro, after that first mistake, after he made 3 mistakes, even before the second mistake, or second goal, take him off then. Listen, we know we have no one on the bench, and we really are just praying on Ugarte to kind of fix this midfield for us, because if he doesn't, we'll be absolutely finished. And listen, Casemiro's still going to play games, but for me, Casemiro has to get out of this football club, because we can't have him starting any more games for Manchester United. I don't mind him coming off the bench. But in January, hopefully we can get Rabiot on a free agent, but we need to certainly replace Casemiro. And you look at what Erik Ten Hag said. He said he replaced Casemiro because of legs. That is disgraceful for me. He brought on a 20-year-old for his Premier League debut against Liverpool because Casemiro couldn't have legs. Now, surely that must be disappointing. And he's seen his wife putting up pictures on social media. Like, it's not a really good sign for Manchester United. And I think Casemiro was the biggest issue in that game. Yesterday's among others. I think if you look at the way Erik Ten Hag set up, this 4-4-2, 4-2-4 press doesn't really seem to work anymore. It worked for maybe 20 minutes in that first 20, and then United players lost focus, got tired, and Liverpool absolutely bypassed us. It was 1-2 passes, then they were on a 4-on-2. And listen, the number 6s have a big part to play in it, and I think Erik Ten Hag just got to go back to the basics. Listen, is that dropping big players, like just getting players who are going to get on the ball, and real cause of threat. You look at what Amad Diallo did. He got 25 minutes in that game. He had, for United, played the most touches in Liverpool's box, and he only played 25 minutes of the game. Like, that's all you need to know. And I think Amad Diallo is our biggest threat. I don't know why Erik Ten Hag just doesn't seem to drop Marcus Rashford. Like, the fans were booing yesterday when he took off Garnacho. The fans are the most important thing, and they're the one who most, obviously the players and everyone else does, but they care about the club a lot. Especially the fans in the stadium paying tons and tons of money to go watch Manchester United. When you're putting in performances like that, it really is a disgrace to the shirt. And I think Erik Ten Hag has got a lot of thinking to do. He's got, I think it's 12 days till we play. He's got 12 days until we play Southampton. It's going to be the first game back after the international break. The first game on the TV is United versus Southampton, 12:30, and he's got a huge few games for Manchester United. Southampton away. Listen, Southampton are horror, to be honest with you, but Manchester, there's no guarantee United can beat them. Then obviously we've got Barnsley in the Carabao Cup, and then we've got Crystal Palace, Spurs, Villa. Like these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These next 5 games for Manchester United could be massive. Absolutely massive for Erik Ten Hag. You look at, by October, we wouldn't have anything on this thing. And the Erik Ten Hag new contract thing, it was just an extension. It wasn't a new contract. It was him extending what he currently had. And listen, Erik Ten Hag, for me, he's just got to go simple. I think in this, and listen, he's just got to change it. Drop Rashford for the next game. And just see what the reaction is. He may come off the bench, score 2 goals, and we're happy and he starts the next game. But it's not going to harm us if we do drop Rashford, because he's just simply not offering anything anymore. For me as well, I think defensively, we've got no one else. That's the back four we're going to have to go with. Bringing in Maguire won't really help us. Into midfield, I mean, as I said, Ugarte, I think he is going away with Uruguay for their international games, so we get a bit more fitness and a bit more minutes into his legs. But wow, like that game was so eye-opening. It was the Manchester United of last season. That's what it was, and that's what we were obviously seeing now. Let's see when I'm sure Ugate's last game. Let me see. The international games. I can't see. Well, you got Paraguay, Brazil. But anyway, his last game's on Tuesday. So Tuesday the 10th. So he should be in contention to start for Manchester United. If we're being honest, he should be starting a game because we can't see that midfield again. I mean, that midfield is just way too open. Poor Kobbie Mainoo was have to doing Casemiro's work as well as his own work. Like, Kobbie Mainoo just looks absolutely exhausted. He's getting run ragged in that midfield. He's up and down the pitch constantly, and he should be able to do that. He's trying to get up the pitch, but Casemiro's got other things, making mistakes and all of those things. So, listen, going forward, Casemiro should be dropped for me, and maybe bring him on in game for the last 15-20 minutes just to see what it can do. But it was a lot of mistakes yesterday. 5, 6, 7 mistakes constantly being made by Casemiro. It's sad to see the decline of him, to be honest with you. So for me, Erik ten Hag must get the simple things right. Just pass in. Don't try anything. Keep it simple. And listen, we might go on and win that Southampton game, but it's not going to show us anything that we haven't seen already. And the thing that's really disappointing, we just want to see a style of play. And the players actually give a toss at the play for Manchester United. Some of the players don't really care at all. And ultimately, they're not doing everything for the shirt. And that's what it means to be a Manchester United player. They don't know what it's like. So, listen, ultimately, for me, just change it around. Bring in Ahmad because he actually gives a crap about the club. And see what we can really do going forward. Because it's going to be a tough couple of weeks for Manchester United if we play the way that we played. It was... and listen, I've seen a clip from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer talking about how trophies do really mark do really kind of shadow what's going on behind the scenes and underneath. It really is. If Erik ten Hag didn't win that FA Cup, he would have been sacked because 8th in the league was absolutely horrid and no trophy, he would have been gone. So the FA Cup did save him. But for me, people are going to start losing this patience. We've lost 2 of our first Premier League games. 2 of our 3 first Premier League games, sorry. And it's not really looking good at the moment. I think you look at what we have to do going forward. As I said, get the basics, principles right for Manchester United. And yeah, we really just got to hope we can do something. As I said, it was a shadow of what we did last season. It was open in midfield, lack of unity, lack of communication. We just got to be compact. There's too many gaps in that midfield. And I don't think... Listen, Casemiro yesterday, it was a lot of individual errors. And obviously, Kobbie Mainoo made that mistake. But I think it's the way Erik ten Hag is setting up that midfield, to be honest with you. It's way too open. Bruno's pressing as the number 9, leaving that massive gap in midfield, which players have to go and kind of fill. There's just... Bruno, for me, he's playing the number 10 in this game anyway, particularly against Liverpool. I don't know why he's pressing the goalkeeper. He, for me, should be supporting Casemiro, should be supporting Mainoo in that midfield to kind of help them because he's the midfielder. In the games where he's playing false 9, we understand why he's going to press. But in this game, he wasn't. He was playing the number 10. And it wasn't really a captain's performance by him yesterday. When you're losing 2-0, when you're losing 3-0, you look for your captains and you look for the leaders on the pitch. And I don't think there was any leadership, no communication, nothing on the pitch at all to really show that we can get back into this game. There was no glimpses. We didn't create any chances. And listen, Liverpool absolutely told you this. It could have been 3, 4, maybe even 5 in that game. And you look at that Liverpool team, they were in second gear, to be honest with you. And Erik ten Hag, for me, is suffering a lot. And listen, you look at if we sack Ten Hag, which is, for me, if he goes on the way that he's going now, he will. What do we do after that? Do we bring a new manager that's going to be stuck with the Ten Hag players and then we have to go to a new rebuild? I think the players have an equal part to play with Erik ten Hag because ultimately they are the players on the pitch. But Erik ten Hag must be very careful because some of the decisions that he's making, some of the way that he's setting up this Manchester United team is getting questioned. And I want Erik ten Hag to succeed at Manchester United, but I think this could be his final season at the football club, and he is starting to become the problem. He's not helping himself. For me, he might have to change the midfield. Not only just the players, but the kind of the formation. I think he has to go to kind of a flat three. Play Casemiro. I'm hoping it's Ugarte. Play Ugarte, Mainu, and play Ugarte, Mainu, and Bruno in a flat three, right next to each other. Obviously Bruno would be the more advanced, but I don't think this double pivot is working. So we have to kind of change up that. I think Casemiro for me is a huge liability. He's acting way too high in the press. Mainu as well. For me, like, listen, he's a young player. He's 19. He's played more or less every single week since like November. He needs some time off, and he can't be not time off, but he needs a bit of rest. And when we don't have that depth coming off the bench, I mean, we're replacing Mainu with Eriksen. Like, come on, that's honestly shocking. He's the replacement for him, so we need to get that midfield depth in. People are saying playing Casemiro as the 8. I think I did say that in one of the videos. That can't happen. He just doesn't have the legs. A number 8 is supposed to be box to box, up and down the pitch. Casemiro cannot do that. So yeah, for me, I think Erik ten Hag just must get the simple right quickly. Though I'm not going to talk about too much, but this next game, obviously we do the preview and all of that next week. But listen, he must just. For me, I would go 4-3-3 flat. Have the midfield compact. Have the wingers narrow, getting in behind. Change a few players out of the team. Because for me, with all due respect, I think Onana as well was he was a poor player yesterday, if we're being honest with you. I think the only players who really did well were Mazraoui, Dalot, fantastic. I think De Ligt was okay, wasn't anything wow, if we're being honest. I think Lissandro was average again at best. I don't really think any of the forwards. Listen, Mainu, he had a decent game, he made the mistake, but still, Ahmad off the bench looked like he's a threat. So there's only 5-6 players who really did something for Manchester United. So listen, for me, we've just got to be very, very careful with what happens, because listen, our depth's looking poor. I'm hoping when Højlund comes back, he can have a big threat. Hopefully after the international break, he'll be back. Obviously Lenny Euro, we got him to come back as well. But we need to really start just getting this team together, really, and really showing like we do give a toss for the football club. Erik ten Hag needs to get these players working on just the simple stuff, just passing the ball 5-10 yards without making a mistake. Ultimately, that's what we have to do. Højlund is reportedly being out till late September, so listen, whether he'll be back, will he be fit? I think Højlund is absolutely vital to this team. And Xerxes, I think he has to play in behind Højlund. I think that's his best position at Manchester United. But let me know your thoughts in the comments. Is Erik ten Hag the issue at Manchester United? If you did stay to the end, do leave a like button and please subscribe. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed as always. Thank you for watching and peace.